do we have the guest for you. Kathy Buckworth is here. The book is I Am So the Boss of You. Kathy, welcome to Breakfast Television.
Thank you, Jody.
I was just saying I could talk to you for an hour. I've read your book, and there's so much in it as a parent of a 5-year-old, and so many parents watching at home. It makes so much sense. Tell us the methodology behind
approach.
it.
Yeah. Well, I worked corporate for a long time, for 18 years before I started writing, about 10 years ago. And it sort of occurred to me always when I was at work that I felt like I was managing one group of children at work, and then I'd go home and manage my own 4 children. And there seemed to be a lot of parallels. And at the same time, I was thinking, I'm a professional, smart woman. How come I can keep things together at work and I hit the front door and I can't get the toddler to put on his boot in less than 10 minutes? You know,
right.
What happens? And why am I being challenged all the time for my authority? And I saw this happening to lots of my friends as well. And so I started to think, you know, there's a lot of rules and policies that we use at work with interns or junior employees that I think are pretty transferable. And when I started going through sort of, you know, marketing, finance, HR, all kinds of different departments, you know, within an organization, I thought there's a lot we can do here. Actually, I hope to make our lives easier. And I know there's a ton of parenting books out there, but this one I think is a pretty easy one to relate to, because
I like
you just keep thinking, what would you do at work?
Well, yeah, and you're very tongue-in-cheek in your delivery, and that's what's fun too, because it's actually a very enjoyable read as opposed to being preached to. And a lot of parenting books are like, you're doing it wrong, you should do it this way. You're just like, hey, you can do it the way you want, but this is how it worked for me.
Yeah, exactly right. And I do have a lot of fun. You're right. I am a humor writer, mostly. I mean, but I think if I'm going through it and if I'm finding it funny, hopefully other moms, mostly moms, some dads, will find it very relatable as well too. And I think that's really what I love about what I hear from people reading it, saying, "Ah, that's my house. You were in my, you know, that's going to work on my kid." So.
What's the biggest mistake you see consistently made?
I think I talk about it a lot in the book, and that's really letting the kids think that they are actually in charge. What do you want for dinner, sweetie? Oh, I'll make you something different than your brothers. Or you don't want to go to bed? Or do you think you could go to bed? It's like certain things you just have to tell them to do. And I see a lot of parents asking their kids almost for permission. Do you mind if we go to the store on the way home from school? You know, what are you doing? You know you have to get this done. You have to be the one in charge. And the kids respond to it. I mean, if you're not giving them an opening to argue or to say, no, I don't want to do that, things run a little bit smoother. And you know, I had somebody say to me, don't you find this takes a little bit of the fun out of it? It's very structured. I think it actually allows for more fun because you're not having those frustrating conversations.
Spending a half an hour deciding whether or not you can go to Safeway.
Exactly. I was saying that to my husband. I'm like, why are you arguing with them about that? You're going to win.
Yes.
Just say that to them. By the way, I'm going to win this argument. I am the boss of you, and it's going to work. So I think, you know, that's what my main message is, really. You start asking yourself, what are your non-negotiables? Probably things like bedtime. You know, they have to go to school in the morning, things like that. So having discussions around those things really is just frustrating for both of you, because the kids think maybe they could change the rules a little bit, and then sometimes they do.
And that's the big one I find most prevalent in my group of mom friends. The kids that get the consequence.
Right.
And they know it's coming. No means no, yes means yes, maybe means maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And all the other thing too, you talk about consequences. I see a lot of moms and dads struggling with that too, where they say, no TV for a year. If that, like, don't make threats.
Don't make threats you can't keep.
Or don't make threats that the other parent's going to have. I mean, my husband says to the kids, no more eating in the family room. I'm like, that's where they eat their breakfast every day. Don't do this to me, you know? So consistency of rules, but also following through, making sure the threats and the punishment and rewards fit what they're doing.
Kathy Buckworth, we could talk all morning long. I Am So the Boss of You is the name of the book, and Kathy is going to be signing the book and having great discussions about the context of the book at Superstore on Grandview Highway at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I will be at the President's Choice Pavilion.
Which is awesome, because then you just like hang a right and you're right in Joe Fresh and buying your kids some great clothes that they can wreck. And you don't have to worry about it, because then you put them in the play clothes. They're allowed to get them dirty, Michelle.
And you tell them what to wear.
We'll tell them what to wear.